What's going on, guys? We're back and we're going to be discussing Attack on Titan, episode 10, season 3. Now, this is going to be a late review, and I do apologize about that, but there's been a lot of things that happened in this episode for you guys to really go into and dissect in, but we are definitely going to have a huge reveal for this episode. Basically, if you guys did not see last week's episode, it does pick off right where Levi finds Kenny, but there is a big backstory with Kenny, which he finds is basically on the brink of death, and Levi finds him. And when that happens, we see where it shows a backstory with Kenny when he first fought against the Reyeses, and Rod Reyes' brother actually held on to Kenny, and they had a like he could have killed him, but he didn't. And then we see where Kenny throws a knife at him, and he still didn't kill him. And he basically kind of showed that the Ackermans always went after the Reyeses and others because of how they were treated. So I guess when Yuri Reyes finally decided to, I guess, deflect on the feud, and it basically showed how Kenny kind of got in good with the Reyeses, as well as kind of being their, uh, basically their own personal assassin. He actually became very good friends with Yuri, and he actually, they actually became very good friends. And when this goes through further in the story, you see how he finds Levi at a very young age. His sister, of course, was a prostitute, I'm guessing, and in the underground where they grew up at, he takes on Levi, but he just says his name's Kenny. He doesn't let him know that he is his uncle. He basically just raises him, and he says that he was not wanting to be a father, he was not wanting to be an uncle, he did not want to be a relative, but he could not leave this boy on the street. And he basically taught him everything he knew, and then one day he just left him. And that always bothered Levi, and it kind of goes back and forth with him talking to Yuri and Levi and all them. And Kenny basically says, you know, why did you spare me that day? And Yuri Reyes basically stated that the time's going to come when he's going to die, and his relatives are going to inherit his power, his memories, and it's going to pass on. And it ain't going to make much of a difference. You know, the world's going to end one way or another. And he basically accepted his fate. And he was shocked that him and Kenny actually became friends. And Kenny was even shocked at himself. He still didn't really understand it. But it took him this entire time where it doesn't matter whether you're rich or you're poor, or if you're a Titan, or if you're a human that can go Titan. It doesn't matter. You know, you be treated, you know, equally. And that's what he finally went through. That everybody's a slave to something, whether it's power, hunger, wealth. No matter what it is, everybody's a slave to something. That's exactly what we finally realized. That was actually quite interesting from Kenny's point of view. He actually shows how he became the captain to the interior police squad. Where he basically found out that his, which was the blonde, what she wanted, she basically did not care, you know, like Kenny. So which was pretty interesting how he basically rose through the ranks to become who he was within that interior police. And then we finally get to see where they do find Kenny in the present time, and Levi asks him, you know, you had this entire time to, you know, put yourself in Titan form, but why would you not take it? He says, because I don't want to be, you know, all messed up like Rod Race was. And he says, I can't do it myself. And then he says, even though they swiped it from him. And then he asks him, he says, even though if I take it, it may draw out my death. And what was really interesting was you see Levi, he grabs Kenny, he basically tells him, you know, who are you? Like, what were you to my mother? And he basically he says, I was her brother. And it really shocked him because he did not know this entire time that Kenny was his relative. And he says, what makes me so special to be an Ackerman? He says, you have no idea. And he basically informs him, why did you leave me that day? He says, because I am not meant to be nobody's father. And Kenny does die. So Kenny was kind of a short character that they did die off. I personally enjoyed Kenny's character. He was a very interesting character to present, especially his backstory, that he kind of just, he felt like he was a nobody, but he also made something of himself in a certain manner. And he lost his entire squad. He lost his family. He pretty much the only thing he has on to live is Levi. And Levi pretty much just basically right before Kenny dies, he pushes it right in front of Levi for that vial. So now that Levi has the vial, it goes into another scene, and we see something which is absolutely crazy that I had no idea what we were going to be seeing. We have this is something that really took my face, guys. We had where two characters we've been waiting to see finally return. We get to see the Colossal Titan and the Armor Titan come back. Yes, you know who I'm talking about, with Raynar and these guys. They got their ass kicked by I want to say the monkey looking Titan, and he basically tries to get him out, and he basically tells him, the Beast Titan basically says, I win. He says, we'll take care of Annie later. He says, but he says, we're going to have to make sure the plan goes accordingly planned. And then he exits out of the body, and then we see this blonde looking guy with glasses and says that it's now time to come up with a plan. So it looks like that he's wanting to recruit them. He's wanting to recruit the Armor and Colossal Titan because he knows he can use them. And he's wanting to grab, of course, Annie as well. And then, of course, everybody, because he knows sooner or later it's going to happen where he's going to use all these Titans to basically that can go from human to Titan form. So we all know that. But the only thing that really gets me is I want to see how Aaron's going to take care of this. I want to see how the rest of these characters are going to be able to, you know, do this, because it's really interesting where we have just so many different characters that are coming in and out, and it's interesting because now we got like all these different ones that we have no idea who this Beast Titan is. Now I got a feeling he may be connected to Aaron in some way, but we're gonna have to find out later on within the story. But that was episode 10, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Links down in the description below. Let me know what you're thinking about Attack on Titan so far. I'm glad we got this human stuff out of the way. We can finally focus back on Titans, which I'm extremely excited for. But I hope you guys enjoyed again. Subscribe to the channel, links down in the description below. Hope you guys are new, go ahead and consider about subscribing and click the notification bell as well. And I'll be seeing you guys in the very next one.